Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. So in this video we are going to discuss the properties of dot products and also angles between vectors. Okay, so these are the properties of scalar or dot products. So take a look at this one here, E. Okay, we are going to discuss for these properties. Okay, so other properties you can take a look on your own because this is very simple. Okay, except for E here. Okay, we are going to discuss on this one. So if U and V are orthogonal or vectors are called perpendicular, then by using properties of dot product, we know that the dot product between these two vectors is equals to 0. Okay, so this one is important. So when two vectors are orthogonal or sometimes we call it perpendicular, then the dot product is equals to 0. So take a look at the first example here. Okay, given that the vector, so you are given two vectors here. Okay, -5 t and -k, and another vector is 1 t plus 2 and -2. And these two vectors are perpendicular to each other. Okay, so you are asked to find the possible value of constant t. So hint here is these two vectors are perpendicular to each other. So we know that the dot product between these two vectors is equals to 0. Okay, so if I let my u is equals to the first vector, -5 t -1, okay, and my v is equals to the second vector, which is 1 t plus 2 -2. Okay, so by using the properties, we know that u dot v is equals to 0. Okay, so we will have -5 t -1 dot 1 t plus 2 -2 is equals to 0. Okay, so we will multiply according to I with I, the component j with j, and the component k with another component k. So you will have -5 plus t plus 2 minus -2 is equals to 0. So expand and simplify this one will give you t squared plus 2t. So -5 plus 2 will give you -3 is equals to 0. Okay, so you can substitute this value, you can substitute this quadratic equation into your calculator so that you will have your t is equals to 1 and t is equals to -3. Okay. Okay, now for the second example here. So basically we are still discussing when two vectors are perpendicular to each other, then dot product is equals to 0. Okay, so as you can see here in this example, you have a vector A and a vector B. Okay, so you are asked to find the value of m for which A and B are perpendicular to each other. Okay, so again we will apply the dot product is equals to 0. Okay, so vector A is equals to 3 -1 2, and vector B is equals to m -2 -3. Okay, so by using properties we know that A dot B is equals to 0. So we will have 3 -1 2 dot with m, -2, -3 is equals to 0. So applying the dot product will give you 3m plus 2 minus 6 is equals to 0. So 3m is equals to 4. So we will have m is equals to 4/3. Okay. So the last example here for these properties. So you are given 3 vectors. Okay, so which pair of vectors, if any, are orthogonal? So you were asked to identify which pair of vector, if any, kalau ada, are orthogonal. Okay, so how many pairs that you will have? So since you have 3 vectors, so you might have u dot v, you also might have u dot w, and another one will be v dot w. So we have to try for each pair and see which of these, if any, are orthogonal. Okay, so start with this one first. So the first one is u dot v, which is equals to, so what is the vector u here? 5, 4, 1 dot with 3, -4, 1. Okay, so by applying the dot product, you will have 15 minus 16 plus 1, which is equals to 0. So since u dot v is equals to 0, so we can conclude that u and v are orthogonal. Okay, so that is for the first pair. So now we are going to check for the second pair, which is u dot w. So u dot w is equals to, so 5, 4, 1 dot with, so w is equals to 1, -2, 3 is equals to 0. So you will have 5 minus 8 plus 3 is equals to 0. Okay, 5 plus 3 is equals to 8. 8 minus 8 is equals to 0. So again, therefore, u and w are orthogonal. Okay, and the last pair we have v and w. Okay, so we will test for v dot w, which is equals to, so 3, -4, 1 dot with 1, -2, 3, which is equals to 0. So by applying the dot product, you will have 3 plus 8 plus 3. So simplify on the left hand side here will give you 14. So 14 is not equals to 0. Okay, so since the dot product between this vector is not equals to 0, so your conclusion will be, therefore v and w are not orthogonal. Okay, or you might also use the term perpendicular. Orthogonal and perpendicular is the same term. Okay, so now next we are going to take a look on how to find the angle between the vector by applying the dot product. Okay, so basically to find the angle between vector, you can either apply dot product or also cross product. Okay, so for the first part here, we try to find the value of theta the angle here by applying the dot product. Okay, so the angle is given by cos inverse A dot B over magnitude A multiplied by magnitude B. Okay, so take a look at the first example here. This is very straightforward question. You are given two vectors and you are asked to find the angle between these two vectors. So by looking at this one, the formula that we are going to use here, what you need is you have to find the magnitude of A, the magnitude of B, and also the dot product between vector A and vector B. Okay, so you must have these three, then only you can find the angle between vector. So we start with the first one, which is A dot B. Okay, so A dot B is equals to, so 1, -1, 3, dot with 2, 1, 1. So this one is equals to, so 2 minus 1 plus 3, which is equals to 4. Okay, so the next one, you have to find the magnitude of A. So magnitude of A is equals to, so square root of 1 squared plus -1 squared plus 3 squared. So you will have square root 11. Okay, next you need to find the magnitude of B. So magnitude of B, so refer to the vector B here, where your coefficient of I is 2, J is 1, and K is 1. So the magnitude of B is equals to, so square root of 2 squared plus 1 squared plus 1 squared, which is equals to square root of 6. Okay, so therefore your theta is equals to cos inverse, so A dot B. So what is your A dot B? So A dot B is equals to 4 over, so magnitude of A is equals to square root 11, magnitude of B is equals to square root 6. So press a calculator, will give you 60.5. So this is the answer. Okay. Okay, the last example here. So you were asked to find the value of Z if the cosine of the angle between these two vectors is equals to -1 over 3. So this cosine of the angle means, so the given info to you is cos of the angle is equals to -1 over 3. So this is what is given to you. Okay, so by applying this one, okay, you basically have A dot B is equals to magnitude of A multiplied by magnitude of B cos theta, isn't it? So basically when we want to find the value of theta, so we will have cos inverse A dot B over magnitude A multiplied by magnitude B. Okay, but in this problem, you already given cos theta is equals to -1 over 3. So this cos theta, you will replace with -1 over 3 because we are going to find the value of unknown. Okay, so first what we need is the dot product between the two vectors. So in this example, they are using vector u and vector v. So first we need to find the dot product between u and v. Okay, so u and v is equals to, so u is equals to 2 negative 2k, 2 negative 2 1 dot with, so v is equals to 0 for z. So by applying the dot product, you will have negative 8 plus z. So this is the dot product between these two vectors. So next we have to find the magnitude of u, which is equals to, so square root of 2 squared plus negative 2 squared plus 1 squared, which is equals to 3. Because square root of 9 is equals to 3. So the next one is, you need to find the magnitude of v. So the vector v is equals to 0 for z. So the magnitude will be, so square root of, so 0 squared is equals to 0, right? So we will proceed with plus 4 squared plus z squared. So this one is equals to, so square root of 16 plus z squared. Okay, take a look at this one here. Be careful, okay? You cannot simply simplify this one to be square root 16 plus square root z squared. So we will give you 4 plus z. No, this is wrong. Okay, why? Because you have an operation here which is plus. So you cannot separate this term. Okay, so you cannot do this one separately. This is wrong. So just leave your answer like this. Okay, so by applying this formula, okay, so we will have cos theta is equals to u dot v over magnitude of u multiplied by magnitude of v. Okay, so cos theta is equals to negative 1 over 3. So negative 1 over 3 is equals to, so u dot v is equals to negative 8 plus z over, so you will have the magnitude of u is equals to 3, the magnitude of v is equals to square root 16 plus z squared. So how we are going to simplify this one? What you can do is, you bring this one to the left hand side here. Okay, so that you will have negative 1 over 3 multiplied by 3 square root 16 plus z squared is equals to negative 8 plus z. Okay, so you can simplify this one. And this will give you negative square root 16 plus z squared is equal to negative 8 plus z. Okay, now we want to find the value of z. Okay, so we have to get rid of this square root. So how to get rid of this square root? You need to square both sides. Okay, you need to square both sides. So negative squared will give you positive, isn't it? So square root squared, so this one can cancel out. So you left with 16 plus z squared is equals to, so what happened on the right hand side? you need to expand, so that you will have negative 8 plus z multiplied by negative 8 plus z. So you need to expand it. Okay, so expand this one will give you 64 minus 16z plus z squared. Okay, so bring all of this to the left hand side will give you 64 minus 16z plus z squared minus z squared minus 16 is equals to 0. Okay, so as you can see here, the z squared here you can cancel out. Okay, so you left with 48 minus 16z is equals to 0. So 16z is equals to 48. So therefore, your z is equals to, so 48 divided by 16 will give you 3. Okay, so to solve this one you have to bring to the right hand side. So that's why here you have the positive. Okay, so that is the difference between the first and the second example. So the first example is very straightforward because you are given two vectors and you need to apply the dot product properties so that you can find the angle between vector. But for the second example here, the theta, the cos theta is given to you, but you were asked to find the value of the unknown. So this is basically a reverse process. Okay, so that's all. I shall see you in my next video for the properties of cross product. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum. Have a nice day.